Hey everybody, this is Ray Carsillo, of course geek expert extraordinaire and diehard Batman fan, and I'm going to be sitting down with another diehard Batman fan, the very lovely First Lady of Comics, Sara Lima, of course better known as Babs to some over at comicvine.com. We're going to get a chance to talk about what's going on in The Dark Knight and some of his storylines right now. Alright, so I want to talk to you about some comic book things.
Okay, cool.
Definitely all about comics. The first thing I want to get into is Batman's been announced coming back in April. Yes, finally.
1 year is too long.
Yeah, why do you think they killed him off to begin with? Just to try and push comics, or just to...
I don't know, but I remember Dan Didio wanted to kill Dick Grayson a couple years ago, and I was like, why didn't you kill Dick Grayson? I can't stand that.
Yeah, I could have understood that, you know? See, I would have been okay with that.
It's just, I mean, it's a marketing tactic, you know? Granted, Batman R.I.P. was brilliant. You know, Grant Morrison did such a great job, and I think the artist was Tony Daniel. I think.
I don't know off the top of my head either.
I think Tony Daniel was the artist on that book, and it was really great. And I mean, I don't know who colored the book, but the play with, you know, the black and the red color contrast schemes, you know, really played into the story really well. I just remember it was really beautifully done. I know a lot of people disagree with me because it was a very in-depth book, and you needed to have been reading for a year, but it was a great story, you know. A lot of people are complaining about it being too soon, that he's coming back too soon. But I don't really care because I never wanted him to go in the first place. Right.
Yeah, I agree. I think he should have never. He was the last person I probably should have killed off in the DC universe.
Well, I mean, it tells a good story, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to tell a story about, you know, the gradual decline of Bruce Wayne, then have Grant Morrison write the book because he's obviously going to do a good job.
Speaking about Batman and something that going back to the Adam West thing when I mentioned that I had growing up, something that I picked up on about Batman Confidential. This was a while ago. They had introduced.
You're reading that book?
I haven't been reading it recently, but I read it a while ago because I was so furious after what happened in this 3-issue series with they introduced the villain King Tut, which of course was an Adam West villain played by Victor Buono in the '60s series.
He knows more than I do.
And
it's crazy.
only about the Adam West Batman. Probably, I'm sure you probably trump me and everything else. And I was furious because you had these the thing I'm afraid of is you have these cheesy 1960 villains that are going to work their way into a very serious continuity. And I was very...
And you don't like that?
I don't like that at all. What's your opinion on that? Like having somebody like King Tut try to be turned into or Falseface or, God forbid, Egghead or something come back as, you know, a serious villain in the Batman continuity?
I don't know. I guess it depends on the tone and, you know, the way that it's written. What was it? Batman Unseen, which was a 5-part miniseries, and it's telling a lost story, a lost Bruce Wayne story. I don't know if you...
The Invisible Man, yeah.
Right, the Invisible Man. Seems like this really corny character. That was so well written, and it was really dark, and it was very... it had a great narrative. So I guess it depends. I mean, you can take this really cheesy villain or any character, and you can kind of transform them into something different, and... I don't know. It really depends who's writing.
One good thing about the Batman Confidential is it's going back to Batman Unseen. Is it's mostly kind of like Batman's unheard of case files.
Right, which I think is pretty neat. And I think it's Doug Moench that is writing Batman Unseen or was writing Batman Unseen. Right. And he also wrote Batman stories back in the '90s, and he was the one I think he wrote the whole. Batman's back being broken by Bane. Right,
the Night's End.
Lady Shiva was his teacher, and that's my favorite comic.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite Batman story, is Lady Shiva teaching him, and she's like, you were not ready. She's such a badass.
Yes.
She's really cool.
She hasn't been used that much, though, in a lot. I mean, she's been hinted at, and she's been... Do you think she might ever make, like, a big splash again?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think about... I think a perfect story would be if she teamed up with Cassandra Cain and they took over the League of Assassins. That would be so cool. Yeah. You know, because mother-daughter is sort of a thing, and there's that rivalry too. So that would be a really good story. But I don't know. I don't know where she is. She was in Cassie's book though. She was in Batgirl, I think, last year. And I don't remember the last time I saw her, though.
Yeah, but since then, I don't think she's been...
She's really been in anything.
Right. So,
No, she was in Robin. She was in Robin, and Robin poisoned her. God, I can't believe I know this stuff. Robin poisoned her with chocolate, and it was the dumbest story ever. I don't remember who wrote it. Sorry if you wrote it, but it sucked. And it was just not believable. I mean, you have this assassin. Is she really going to just eat chocolate? Oh, there's chocolate on my bed. Let me just eat it. But I'm like a trained assassin. I'm just going to eat candy. Don't you learn to not eat candy? Like, oh, trick or treat. I remember my mom being like, don't eat the candy. You live in Queens. That's I'm like, okay, somebody poisoned the candy.
Have you played Batman Arkham Asylum?
Yeah. Oh, my God. It's so good.
Have you heard about the second one?
Yeah, well, I saw the trailer, but I've had the last week and a half off, and I think the trailer came out the day that was my last day. So
okay,
that's all I know. So you can tell me.
So far, there's not a lot going on. I'm just looking from the trailer and analyzing and speculating. A lot of people are thinking that the Penguin is going to be in it because they specifically panned by the Iceberg Lounge in the trailer. And of course, pretty much Two-Face and the Joker are confirmed.
Right.
Because they had
Is it going to be set in Arkham again?
No, it's going to be set in Gotham. It's going to be more of a sandbox kind of world, they're thinking, where hopefully you'll get to drive the Batmobile, of course, which has been, by now, hopefully fixed since it got destroyed in the first game. I don't know how far...
Thanks for ruining it.
I'm just about to say, I don't know how far did
No, I think Harley Quinn, like, destroys it, right? And her thugs or something.
They kind of take it apart, and I'm not going to spoil anything for you. I'm just going to be quiet. Please? Sorry, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Appreciate it.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to remember. I blew through video games like in a day, so it's hard.
Cool. It's taken me literally 4 days playing this game, but I'm not sitting there like for 24. Am I? Maybe I am. Kind of am. You're like, yeah, actually, she's playing all day long.
Well, it's a great game, you know.
I'm so addicted, but then I love the Riddler challenges.
Yes.
I'm like, yes, I know the answer to that question because I am an uber nerd. So I don't know. It's fun.
Yeah, it's
a really beautiful game.
It's probably, I would say, the third best looking game of the year.
And Kevin Conroy is the voice of Batman.
Well,
so
they brought back almost everybody from the cartoon series.
Mark Hamill,
Arlene Sorkin. All of them came back to do most of the voices.
Very cool. And then they did Paul Dini, who is actually writing. He was writing Batman Detective. Then he wrote. Now he's writing Gotham City Sirens, and he's writing something else. He's writing another Batman book. But he wrote the game. So
yes, and I think he's working on the second one as well. I hope, anyways.
Which is good.
Yeah,
he's a great writer.
Special thank you to Sara, and be sure to check her out over at comicvine.com. I, of course, am Ray Carsillo, geek expert extraordinaire. Thanks